So if you got alarm systems, you can't turn the power off. But you can turn the power. You should know. One of the things you should do is go to your fuse box and check what the power is, the circuit breaker for every room in the house, because it makes it easier. If you turn the power off to the room that you're putting the bathrooms, you can easily put it in yourself. There's no major problem. Electrician will do it with the power on, but I recommend that you turn the power off to the room that you're going to do it in.
And you also do it with leather gloves.
Or, gloves so you're not going to get.
Or rubber.
I use rubber.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And also along with those ground fault circuit breakers or interrupters is if you want to put dimmers on any of your lights, those are really easy to do too.
Which we do have,
We actually have one in this room.
We've got multiple. We got dimmers behind us, dimmers. They're not complicated. Here you can turn the power. You can turn the power off at the switch before. When the power is off at the switch, then you could basically put a new one in. But you still, though, like I said, if you're afraid of electricity, I know plumbers and stuff that won't do electricity, they just turn the power off. If the power is off to the room you're putting it in, you should be fairly safe. But you should always have, we don't have it in this tool belt, we've got it in mine, where they got a little device that will tell you sit there and put it up against the bare wires to see if you have power. If you have power...
Actually, we've got, it's one of those electrical testers. We may have one in that drawer.
They're all...
We've got some in the garage. We've got several of them here. But there are circuit testers, so you can see if the power, if there's any
never
power
touch,
that's going to it.
Even if you think the power is off, never touch anything without testing the circuit seeing the circuit is live.
And don't touch it with your bare fingers.
No, because I can guarantee you that I was told the power was off. Basically, we were replacing old-fashioned fuse. Like the fuses were like this, and we were putting them in underneath a walkway in a garage, and I was told the power was off. And the only way to get those fuses... I like that.
I was told the power was off.
Yeah, I should have known better. The only way I could get the fuses out was just take a screwdriver and pop the fuse out, because they were like 4 inches long. Power was on. When I put the screwdriver across it, it knocked me 20 foot across the room. And I'm lucky because I'm underneath the thing, and I shot out the opening underneath the stairways where I was at. Because if I was under an area like this, if I'd have been up, it would have knocked my head off. But that's why, basically even people that know better still do stupid things, which is always make certain yourself the power is off.
Yeah,
test it.
That's something that you don't have somebody else check, because it's like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Well, if you're the one that's doing it, you test it.
I know. Don't trust anybody else, because they simply, sometimes they'll throw the wrong switch, which is what happened in this case.
And even if you think you pulled the right switch, test it first.
With that, because it doesn't cost a lot to have, like we've got multiple versions. We got the little one that's just got a couple of prongs that you touch the wires in. And then we've got a more sophisticated version that basically tells us how much power, what this is, what that is, and such and such.
Well, it's not hard to do, but if you're really having a difficult time with it, do hire an electrician.
Yeah, that's the safest way.
That's the safest way. Or if you're going to do it yourself, take your time. Do not rush through that process.
Do not touch anything electrical with the power onto the wires. Never, ever, ever, because that's a recipe to get you put. I mean, theoretically, a 110.
That's a shocking treatment.
110 isn't supposed to kill you, but if you got wet hands, it can knock you on your butt. And it's not the shock that might get you, it's bouncing off of something.
Oh, yeah, that's part of it.
So, what's the next one?
Okay, next one is replace an old shower head.
Oh, those are the simplest things.
Those are the easy ones.
Those you don't even
They also have those carbon filters.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that you might want is, remember that plumber's tape, that white
always
stuff?
have a plumber's tape or plumber's goop. Either one. I grew up in an area where they had containers of the stuff, that looks like clay, and you sit there and run it around the seam of the thread and put it in. Where nowadays they use the white tape, which is like 99 cents. You wrap it around your head, screw the things in, and it basically makes certain you don't have a leak.
Well, and they talk about, this is an easy home repair for under $20. I will say it depends on the price of your shower head.
Oh, let's see, what did that one in there, what was that one, $1,000 or something?
Yeah, so
it depends,
I got expensive shower head.
Yeah, it depends upon what the shower head does. If it is a sophisticated multi-function is not going to be $20. This is like
Yeah.
going to Walmart and picking up a thing.
Yeah, and also, you know, part of it is sometimes it pays to have extra shower heads, because before we remodeled the bathroom, I actually got another shower head to take, Monty, Bubbles' predecessor was Bodie. So I got a different shower head so I could shower her in the bathroom,
Yeah.
and I just changed the shower heads whenever that happened.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also they have those the filtration system.
Yeah, that you can put on them too. And I don't know if it's got here, there's something else that they don't have on the list.
What's that?
Okay. A lot of people today have home filtration systems on their water.
Yeah, that's true, because you can actually spend a whole lot of money on it,
Yeah.
or you can spend not so much. I don't remember how much I paid for that one, but I think the water filter systems, the water filters are about $20 to replace
And
it.
it's just a simple, you know, pop in, pop out. There's none in this
This
one.
one's just a cartridge.
It's just a cartridge. You just sit there and take the, actually it's in the cartridge, you know, just
Oh,
take the
there's a picture of the cartridge.
cartridge. You just take the cartridge out, you undo it.
See, twist on, twist off, no mess.
That's a simple thing. That's basically just the cost of the cartridge and basically the time it takes to clear the stuff out of the sink where it's at.
I know that. Well, it takes more time to clear the stuff out,
Yeah.
but that one's an easy one. Next on the list, actually that would be number 6 then, right?
Yeah, well, we just give them
We
an
give
extra.
an extra one. Replace, oh actually we gave them 2 extra ones,
Yeah.
because we also had that one too.
Yeah.
Replace fence boards.
Oh, that's simple. That's a no-brainer. But the thing is, you have to, it is a no-brainer. It's not a no-brainer because you have to have a fence board that fits in the hole that you've got out. And it depends upon the age of your fence. Fence boards are no longer the same size that older fence boards used to be.
So part of it, the best thing on that is to go ahead and measure your existing fence board.
Yeah.
You may not know if it's made out of wood, what kind of wood it was.
Yeah. And I
But
think
typically fences are made out of what? Redwood?
redwood and cedar and pine.
Yeah.
And they come in different thicknesses. You don't want to put a board on that is thinner. You can put a board on that's thicker because it doesn't make any difference because it's
Yeah. So
because it's just a board to replace.
So
but
if you have your measurements, the dimensions as well as the thickness, that helps. If you have an extra piece of wood, that helps because you can match the type of wood.
what you do too, another way you can do it is, I know this is basically, they're not going to like this.
What's that?
You take it to like Lowe's or let's see, Lowe's or Home Depot, and they'll sit there and they'll take a board that is similar, and for a price they'll manufacture a piece of wood. They'll cut it and
That's
ship
not
it for
hard
you.
to do. It's better to have them do it. Unless you have the equipment at home and you know how to do it, just have them do it, because if you're talking 1 or 2 boards,
No.
it's not really a big
No.
deal.
But
And it's
like
not
I
that
said, the
expensive.
problem, like I said, modern fences are not the same as a 40-year-old fence.
Well, and part of it too is sometimes they're made out of plastic.
Yeah, plastic, then
That
You know,
makes...
then you have to sit there and they're going to have to basically, you know, you can find the plastic pieces because plastic pieces are now, but you have to find a place to sell the plastic piece.
Yeah, and part of it is if you're installing a fence with plastic, is make sure you order extra pieces, because you don't know. I mean, a piece of, if it's a wood fence, you could run down and get another piece of wood to put in there.
Yeah.
If it's a plastic piece,
You don't know where it came from.
and it may be a little bit more difficult. You may know the manufacturer, you may know it came from Home Depot, but maybe Home Depot no longer sells it.
That's
Lowe's no
right.
longer
And
sells
if
it.
you bought a house that's got the plastic fence on it, the best advice is to take the busted plastic piece of fence down to Home Depot or Lowe's and have them, you know, they could basically give you a good idea, you know, what the size is and where you can probably get it, because they got the computers that will give them the information. And then some cases they can order it out. In some cases they'll actually, you know, they'll tell you where you can go. I mean, we've done it plumbing parts. We've done where they haven't carried the plumbing parts. They'll tell us where we can go in the community and find the plumbing part.
Actually, they're really good about that. They're really, really good. The next one is adjust the water heater temperature to 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, that's a simple one too. You take off the cover of the water heater and then you just raise, you know, they got a thing on it. You can sit there and raise it or lower the temperature.
Well, and I'll also say that's 120 degrees. It sounds like that's a standard temperature.
Yeah.
But if you like yours to run a little bit hotter or a little bit colder, you may go ahead and change
And
that.
there's also another reason for raising the temperature. What happens in a lot of cases,
I can let you